What's going on YouTube? Q back here again with another video for you. In today's video, I'm here to answer why this car costs so much. So I got a few things that I believe it to be true and some things that if you don't own the car, you might not know about. So that's what we're going to get in today. And before you leave, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, browse the channel. Let's jump into it. Shout out to the men of culture. Got Blueprint 1 LE, 100 Gang Nate, Race Car Friends. Go check out their channels on the feature section of my channel. Before I start talking about overpriced Integras, I want to let you guys know in on a little secret. So remember that Canadian spec Civic Si that I reviewed in a couple videos? That car is now for sale and it's going to be located in New York, but I'm going to drop a link down to the person's IG. So he let me know yesterday that he's going to sell it. So if you want in on the Civic Si Canadian spec, it's only 12,000 miles on it. Drop him, just DM him, and he'll let you know what the price are, the specifics, and you guys can work out a deal. But thought you guys should know that that's going to be a fantastic deal, especially on the Canadian spec here in the United States. The Integra Type S. This car's MSRP is around $52,000. And then we also got the Civic Type R, which is at $44,000, but good luck getting one of those around MSRP. And my car, the way it's spec, was closer to $58,000. So why is this car costing so much? I'm here to explain that to you in just a moment here. So the FK8 Civic Type R's, when they first started off, they were about $34,000. I seen price bumps up to $37,000, and then that car ended up having markups on it, and that was pre-pandemic. So that car has always been a pretty big ticket. So why is that? So at this point, we're used to these cars costing this much, and the first reason is going to be inflation. So cars across all the boards are just going to cost a whole lot more nowadays. Like the previous Camaro that I had, the ZL1, my car was base price $65,000. Now that car is $70,000 for the same exact car. Nothing changed. So cars are just going to cost more across the board. And with this Integra being brand new to the market for the Type S, it's going to be more than what you would think it should cost due to inflation. We're getting used to a new normal for car prices, and this is $52,000 base price is the new normal for this type of car. So with all these hot hatches, the Volkswagen, the Golf R, it came in the market about $46,000, and I thought that was insane. Then the Civic Type R came up right behind it at $44,000. I'm like, damn, these cars costing a whole lot of money. Then the GR Corolla, that one is based at $36,000, $37,000, but good luck finding one of those for MSRP as well. And that's just the stock bare bones ones. You're gonna want the performance package with the dual differentials, the front and rear. So I'm not gonna lie, I for one think this car is overpriced, but I'm here to justify this big ticket price. And what you're going to get with this interior on here, since this is a compact car based off the Civic, the interior on here is not that of a compact entry-level car. On this Integra, this interior is quite nice. All the materials are really good. Got a great design to it. Got Type S stitched in the seat. Got the micro suede coming down the middle. Leather on the outside. We even got leather on the doors. Soft armrest right there. All the buttons are tactile and functional. These vents, everything clicks. Everything solid. Now this reminds me that of a German feel. All these knobs, very tactile. Everything that you want to press. The ergonomics on here, fantastic. Everything does what it's supposed to. No flimsy buttons. Everything just works. So that's where a lot of the money is going into in this car. Fit, finish, feel, quality of materials. Definitely the quality of the materials. But that's not going to be the number one thing. Hint, hint. So having a car this small, be this practical, a lot of money is going to go into R&D on that. So that's what we're putting our money into, the R&D. And then the Civic paved the way for that. So the Integra, the luxury car brands, they have to be more profitable. If you don't understand business, you won't understand that. Luxury cars have to make a profit, even though they're based off of the same car for the most part. It's the same way I like to use Volkswagen. They sell the Touareg, they sell the Audi Q8, the Porsche Cayenne, the Bentley Bentayga, the Lamborghini Urus. They're all the same car, but they can cost, you can pay $50,000 for one of those or $350,000 for one of those. All the same bare bones. That's how luxury works. I can go on and on about why this car costs what it costs, but to get straight to it, it's going to be the driving experience. So let's hop in and let me point out some of the highlights of the Integra Type S that make it worth the cost of admission. go in my individual mode, which is going to have it set up to be Sport Plus on the engine, Comfort for the suspension, and Sport for the handling. Foggy out here. So the first thing that's going to make this car cost so much, $52,000, is going to be the chassis and the suspension on here. So these bumps right here, it's a terrible patch of pavement right there, but this car soaks it up so well, and that's where a lot of the engineering went into, like designing this suspension to be compliant as a daily driver, as well as very sporty on the track. So not a lot of cars can take that up very well, and that was quite well, especially even this twin, the Civic Type R. We got a different dampening module, and it's much better, much more compliant for daily use in the Integra as opposed to the Civic Type R. From what I'm told, is very jarring in the Civic Type R. And I've honestly never driven the Civic Type R with that the Civic Type R's dampening module in it. When I drove the Tophers, shout out to him, gonna reference him a couple times in this video. He had disabled Hicks. He said it was just such a harsh ride that he had to just take it out. He couldn't live with it, and that was like right after he bought the car. So back to the driving of this. The Integra Type S and the Civic Type R, both of these cars, all of these cars, the Civics, Integras, these cars are very well dialed in for a driver. Every driving input is close to perfection. It's probably the industry best as far as the clutch feel, the gear shifter, the steering feel that you do get, all of that matched up into one. Like, there's other cars that do some of them well, but not all of them. This is the overall better driver's car with all these inputs that you put in. This car is very communicative, even on the track. Like, I've never driven this car on the track before, and the first time I did, I was able to tell when the car was ready to give out. And it's just, it communicates so well with you. And this being a front wheel drive car as well, I know people are going to down it for being front wheel drive, and I don't see that as a bad thing. It does have its drawbacks, like it's wet outside, so you don't want to stab the accelerator into a turn because you're going to understeer. You got to know how the car works. But this car, you can actually get it to understeer or oversteer. And shout out to the Topher, because I'm going to use this clip right here.
Well, that wasn't fast, but boy, that was fun.
So what other front wheel drive car do you know that can oversteer? Like, how do they do that? So Honda, they really went in on this car and just went ham with all the driving dynamics. So oversteer in a front wheel drive car, that's amazing. And like, I'm in these turns now, if you don't want to be heavy on the accelerator, or you're going to understeer, for example, all out of my lane, you don't want to do that. But you just got to know the car, know how it behaves. But yeah, as far as cars that are very communicative with all of the driving inputs, the only other car that I've driven, or owned for that matter, was the Camaro SS1LE and the ZL1. But I give a slight edge to the SS1LE, because that car, all of the driving inputs were A1. The shifting, excellent. All the inputs, you can like feel all the grooves in the roll. It was connected to the road with the steering feel. And then the throttle response, it could be immediately if you wanted it to. It was instantaneous. The how harsh the suspension could be, that thing could get so firm in track mode, and it was unbearable to live with. Even the steering feel in it, you can make it to where it's like you flexing your pecs trying to just steer the car. And I've never seen a car that can go from very comfortable in steering to like very hardcore as far as like just a track car, just with the flick of a button. And this car does the same, but it's just not as hardcore on that hardcore side. That's where you got to go to a Civic Type R for. Another car, and I haven't talked about this car much in a minute, but the inputs on this car was very well dialed in. Shout out to my guy Race Car 21. And the Mustang GT350, that car was right up there with the Camaro SS1LE as far as driving dynamics go. It did have a couple things that I didn't like it was tram line, but that's nothing the mod couldn't fix. But as far as steering input, that car was very precise. and as is this Civic Type R or Integra Type S. Forgot what I was driving. So all of these cars, they are top notch when it comes to driving experience. If you haven't driven one of these, go drive one, because I see a lot of comments saying that this is overpriced for what it is, and people haven't driven it, and that's not even fair to say it. Like, yeah, somebody can say it once and it gets regurgitated and repeated over and over again, but if you haven't driven one, I challenge you to just go out and drive one if you can find one. That'd be the hard part. But these cars are very well dialed in. The driving experience is top notch. Every time I get up in here, and I'm starting to enjoy this car more and more as I just soak it all in and just realize what the car is meant for, what its limitations are, and just drive it in that fashion. And this is my daily driver. I love driving this car every day. Sound system, phenomenal. Like, you already know how I feel about the car in that regard. But this car, is it worth the price of admission? I still think it's overpriced, but they do so many things that you will not find in cars of this price point, even its competitors. So I'm going to bring up some cars like the Golf R. The shifter isn't as well. Like, the Golf R is fun too. Like, I don't want to discredit that car at all. But as far as all of the driving dynamics, as far as this car is superb in every aspect of it, and it's fast too. And then we got the Elantra and like the shifter. That car was meant for the DCT. Like, this car, the shifter on here is excellent. And then there's always the, like, how's this car going to hold up long term? Like, how's the resale value going to be? Like, we kind of can guess, like, with the history. Like, look at the FK8s right now and the Civic Type Rs. Like, those cars are holding value. So we can kind of assume that this car is going to be holding its value as well. And then, like, even in my in-house rivalry, the GR Corolla, that car has a crappy interior. I'm just going to be frank. I got the Core Edition. And the interior, it's hard to live with that car on a daily basis. It's small and so cheap on the inside. But this car is no compromising. Like, it's very comfortable on the interior for a car in the same class. I don't think they're in the same class, but that's how they're marketed. Compact, hot hatch sedan, whatever you want to call them. But those cars, like, that car is like 2 leagues below this one. Even the regular Civic, the Civic Sport, that car, like, has some gall to it, and like the GR Corolla is just not that good on the interior wise for a daily driver. So you can tell, like, they put all their tuning into that all-wheel drive, the engine, that was it. They're like, all right, we give y'all a base Corolla, give y'all this suspension drivetrain, whoops, as I grind my gear, and that's it. This car don't like to be rushed to shift into gear, and that's another thing, just learning the car. But other than that, this car does a phenomenal job at everything. And on the track, I don't even know why they decided to build such a track focused car, but that's what this is. This is a track car number 1, and it gives you like 2 creature comforts, being a heads-up display and not even memory seats or a sunroof. But that's where some of the money should have gone into, and that's just me nitpicking it, but that's what it is. All of these driving inputs. It is not easy to engineer a front-wheel drive car, because front-wheel drive, as I stated earlier, you got to know what it is, know its limitations, and front-wheel drive does have some limitations, especially when it comes to grip. But Honda has engineered a lot of that, a lot of the assumptions that we do tend to make about front-wheel drive cars. Vamoose, gone, like, they engineered that out of this vehicle, which is an engineering marvel to me. Like, I still can't believe this car, just even how it looks. It doesn't even look like it's front-wheel drive, just the proportions of alone. Shifter is amazing. Everything works so well together to make this a phenomenal experience, and that's why it's worth it to me, because I still thought it was overpriced. But when you like a car so much, I don't even want to call myself a fanboy for the car, because I will rip apart any imperfection that I do see. I just got to be honest about it. Like, I don't have no stake in any of these manufacturers. Like, they give me cars, and I just give my honest viewpoint on them. That's all I can do, and that's what this is, an honest viewpoint on it. Supreme, excellent car that this is. It's just going to cost you a little bit more, and that's what we got to live with in this day and age, as all cars are doing, is increasing in price. And I always say there are better values. If you want a better value, Elantra and for you, WRX, the best values of the group, but they're going to lack in other fields of it. So there's that. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about the cost of it. If you own one of these, I definitely want to hear what you got to say. If you own a Civic Type R, let me know if you think this car is worth the ticket. So I want to hear from race car friends and 100 Gang Nate, because they have the Civic Type R's. Like, do you guys think your car was worth the price paid for it? And I know 100 Gang Nate got his for less than MSRP, so bravo for that. And race car friends got his for a good deal as well. And he also got the GTI. So just let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment. I'm Q, checking out. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, browse the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.